Yo, what up? So I'm pretty sure you guys know by now that Snow White has hit in the theaters. The new Snow White 2025, where everybody is kind of just like shitting on it, and it's terrible, and it's all trying to be like girl bossy. And anyway, it's just they tried to take out the whole true love's first kiss kind of thing, and they tried to take out the romance, like the falling in, like it's not a movie that's about falling in love and just being with, someone special. Instead it's like more girl boss, and I can do this and I can do that, and I can um I can do anything you can do or whatever, and better. But as a matter of fact, I have a YouTube short here that I saw earlier when I was at work that I want to show you, and it's pretty much the new Snow White movie in 1 minute. Here, let me show you. Let me show you. Right here, new Snow White movie in 1 minute. It's a YouTube short by the hold on, by the YouTube channel
Magic.
uh Beanie Bros One. So yeah, but this is pretty much it. It's a good job. Does a good job of summarizing the movie. Let me show you real quick.
Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Let's see. Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
I'm really sorry. I was just trying to be kind.
Kind? If you want to be kind, disappear and take the patriarchy with you. Seriously, go away, stalker. You're weird. Weird.
My queen, you're the fairest, but no longer the most evil.
Wait, what?
So obviously it's a play on some of the interviews that Rachel had, like how she said the prince was just a stalker, and it was kind of weird, but like it is a good summary of the actual movie. Not that I've seen it, but it is from what I've heard about the movie. So I just wanted to show you that real quick, as to remind you of why. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure my cat doesn't doesn't fuck with some shit. It as to remind you as why like the movie was seen as such a failure. You know what I'm saying? Highly in part of due to Rachel Zegler. Like I've even heard word that she was blacklisted from Hollywood just because I wouldn't be surprised, because it's like, who would want to hire an actress that is willing to stop who would want to hire an actress that is willing to just destroy their own movie before it comes out, because they have a propaganda they want to push, or an ideal they want to push. Sorry about that. Like, this fucking cat, bro, I swear. But anyway, let's get to the actual video. So we're gonna be checking out a video by Rev Says Des, and it's titled "Hollywood is Done with Narcissist Rachel Zegler as Snow White Flop Continues to Haunt Disney." So as always, links to the video and link to the channel will both be in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because your boy is trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So help your boy out. Let's get it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we continue our coverage of the slow-moving car crash that is Disney's live-action remake of Snow White. As the weekend has passed on, and we've had about a week at the box office for this film, we can now truly appreciate the absolute bombing
Downfall,
that this film is
destruction.
doing, and the terrible
hold on, you can't
numbers,
see it.
not just representing this
Sorry.
film, but representing
you
the
go.
entire movie industry right now. And because of the chaos going on with this film, people are starting to get very frustrated in the industry and within the production of this film, and they're sharing insider info and other testimonials sharing the chaos going on behind the scenes and the preferential treatment that Rachel Zegler has received during her controversies that do not reflect the very harsh punishments other Disney actors have faced for much lesser controversies on social media.
Well, it's because in this day and age, she's a woman, and she's a woman of a minority race, so that's why she's getting so much protection from it. I still don't know if the whole, well, now I'm starting to question if the whole like her being blacklisted thing is real or not, because it sounds like she's getting preferential treatment. Sounds like she's getting to protection, so she may not be blacklisted. But again, like, I don't see why any other producers or companies would want to work with her, because she's now known for destroying her own movie. Like the success of her own movie bombed because of her comments and interviews, and even Disney had to restrict her from doing certain interviews so that she can't destroy the movie even more, because she became untrustworthy. And if you lose trust like that in Hollywood, then it's a huge, huge backlash to the huge hit to your own, your personality, your recognition, like what people know you as. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we stopped seeing her movies for a couple of years. You feel me?
And when I was getting ready to record this video, I couldn't help but think about this Screen Rant article from about a year and a half ago, where Disney's CEO, Bob Iger, was reportedly becoming increasingly frustrated, exhausted, and overwhelmed after multiple box office flops. And that'll happen when you keep making soulless cash grabs and shameless live action remakes for the simple purpose of a quick cash grab. And that's
Speaking of shameless live action remakes, Netflix. I heard you guys were making a Solo Leveling live action remake. Sounds like a soulless cash grab to me. You want to capitalize on something that's going hot right now. And once again, you're only going to just destroy the reputation of the actual anime and how good it is. So fuck you. But anyway, back to the video. Oh, hold on one second.
exactly what Disney's live action Snow White has turned out to be. As you can see, the headline states here, Snow White bombs, breaks record for lowest live action remake opening. Is anybody surprised? Absolutely not. So here are the initial numbers. We're about a week into the film's release now.
Of course we're not surprised. We saw this shit coming. Like we didn't like the actress for the Snow White movie. We didn't like how she talked shit about the Snow White movie. We didn't like how she admitted that she didn't even see the original Snow White movie. She just heard heard snippets of it and called the prince weird and said that the entire movie's gonna be this girl boss thing, that the prince might get all his lines taken out and clipped out. Like, of course we didn't like it. We gave Disney hints from the jump. Just like with Assassin's Creed Shadows, we gave Ubisoft hints from the jump, and nobody fucking listened. Nobody fucking listened. You would think, creators, like the executives, get out from back there, you fucking cat. Shit. God damn, bro. You would think like the executives and shit of all these companies will just decide, you know what, we're really fucking up. What are the people saying? You mean the people have been saying this shit the entire time? Why were we not listening to this? We should actually listen to this so we don't fuck up and make some trash again that costs us money. You would think they would do that, unless their drive is to destroy their own company so that China can buy that shit out again too. Just like China are starting to buy property in the gamer space through buying 25% of Ubisoft after the Ubisoft flop with Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I wonder how long until China's like, yo, we'll buy part of Disney. What's good? What's good? You know what I'm saying? So is this shit being done on purpose? Is this like just a mission to slowly sell out to China? Or is this like just them doing stupid shit because they want to try to force woke bullshit into our society? It's just not working. Like, is it that reason? Like, what the fuck? And I'm still building a conspiracy in my mind. I'm building a conspiracy theory that companies are trying to destroy their own themselves so that they can sell part of it to China, and China can start injecting woke propaganda into the US. It's like, bro, what the anyway.
Now, and here it is. 48 million domestic, 43 million international, for a total of $92 million. This is an absolute disaster. If this was 92 million on the opening weekend alone, that would be a disaster. But this is even worse than people had projected. In fact, with the domestic box office numbers, the opening weekend was supposed to get somewhere between 50 to 60 million. That was in the latest predictions. And now look at it. It hasn't even reached 50 million yet until this point. Now, what's really interesting and concerning for Disney here is that the international numbers for this film are really underwhelming. I think they were cashing in on international numbers carrying this film because a lot of the controversy involves domestic issues, a lot of things involving politics in the United States. But internationally, people are not impressed, and Disney focused hard on the international audience. And look at the results for the opening weekend. These are the international numbers. The UK, Mexico, Italy, France.
Oof. Only one is in the double digits for millions. The US and Canada says 4.3 million, and everything else is like less than 5.2 million. And it starts with UK being at 5.1 million, and in Mexico 4.1, Italy 4, France, like it just goes down. Like, bruh, nobody wanted this shit.
It's pulling in some decent numbers, but look at the bottom here. China at
$900,000.
$900,000. They didn't even break $1 million in Disney's golden goose. That is China.
China and Korea, both $900K. They were probably like, what the fuck is this? What is this shit?
That is the place in the world, which obviously based on its population, can save a Disney film when it's flopping domestically. And they've done that many times over. Here's a good example.
And it's also interesting, in my opinion, and it supports my conspiracy theory that China is just that companies are destroying themselves in order to be bought out by China. You know what I'm saying? China's like only did $900K for that shit, and it's like Disney just putting out more woke propaganda, like just like with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And when nobody wanted that, and the Assassin's Creed Shadows failed, what happened? Tencent and Ubisoft formed a partnership, a company. And now Tencent has 25% control of Ubisoft. So what's going to happen with Disney?
The Mufasa the Lion King, the latest Lion King movie that came out a few months ago. This did really poorly domestically, which is surprising given the predecessor film and how well it did overall. But it got saved by the international box office. It represents.
Also, why is everybody trying to make a live action version? Like, just make something original, make something new. Stop trying to remake shit.
And it's 65% of the gross for that film. It was completely safe. It was dead in the water within about a week or two of release domestically, but internationally it's continued to rake in money over and over again. It's still in theaters, by the way. This was released in December. It's crazy to run this.
It's still in December, January, February, March, April. It's almost April. So obviously 4 months. I don't even know why I count that out. But it's still it's really still in theaters. They try and rake up as much money as they can like that. How desperate are you? Holy shit. And again, make some original shit. Stop making the same shit. Stop just remaking the same shit. It's annoying. Nobody wants that. We've already seen those stories. We have those stories. We have those stories as just like things that we cherish. Remaking things in order to fit your own propaganda or just make just as a cash grab in general is trash. It's not good. Like, just stop it.
Film has done. Now, of course, this all comes as a surprise to Rachel Zegler, who never in a million years thought people wouldn't show up to her film. This old clip here has resurfaced, and I think it really sums up the narcissism of this woman in full detail.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces.
That's not a victory, though. That's not a win. That's an L. Nobody hates when you win. Like, who would hate when you win except like regular haters? But like, this was just an L. This was not a W. Like, you got selected for a role and you decided to trash that shit and just to completely destroy that shit. And then the actual movie came out to be shit. That's an L. Like again, congrats on getting paid for the role, but the moment you start destroying it and start saying, yeah, I got the role, but I didn't really like the movie and this, that, and this, yeah, it's trash. The moment you start talking trash about it, then your congratulations for getting the role becomes an L. Because it's like you don't even want to play the role. You don't even want to be involved in it, but you're just getting the paycheck for it. So then it's kind of like, all right, you don't really, it's not really deserved W, it's just an L, because now you're just trashing it and you're plotting to make something that's just a worthless piece of shit cash grab that you're just gonna push out to the public. You expect us to just shut up and consume. That's not what we're gonna do. That's not. So you can't get mad at us for hating that. You can't blame the public for you destroying your own shit. It was a W until you decided to trash it. That W was not locked in, and that W was quickly switched to an L. So congratulations for getting the role of a shitty movie that hopefully destroys your career, that hopefully blacklists you. This is what you get. You don't deserve to get fucking hired because you're now known, bookmarked, stamped as someone who just goes in and destroys their own movie. Like, why would you do that? Fuck out of Hollywood, bitch.
And people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Not really.
They did not.
They did not.
So basically, she's going on this performance here, probably her best performance of her career, where she's saying that she's basically this stunning marvel of the world that no matter what, people will show up for. Well, obviously we know that's just an example of her narcissism coming through once again. But she...
Wait. I was gonna say, look how she presented herself for this apologetic, sympathetic, like, give me attention and feel sorry for me video. No makeup, looking like she's trying to cry, all sad and shit. Nah, bitch, ain't nobody buying that. Fuck you.
That's just an example of her narcissism coming through once again. But she's been taking victory laps. On Instagram, she posted this the other day saying, number one movie in the world. Social media has fried my brain. So she's saying it's the number one movie in the world, referring to Snow White, of course. And that's very odd because she's right. That's the thing that's really sad. She's right. Despite the
she's actually right, but it's also like it's March. We're 3 months into this bitch. Not number one movie in the world for the entire year. You just have your 5 seconds of fame. Not even 15 seconds. And also the 5 seconds of your fame that you got isn't good fame. It's just negative light.
Comments coming in on Instagram and instantly just bombarding her with criticism and negative comments, and she would deactivate the comment section pretty quickly.
Of course.
She's not wrong, which is the sad thing. This was the number one film over the weekend, which doesn't show how good Snow White is. It shows the absolute devastation of the movie industry right now. And let's be honest, guys. It's been a really rough year for movies, okay? At the top, you see Neza 2, a Chinese...
Bro, I have never even heard of Neizatu. He said it's Chinese. Again, the Chinese is just taking over, bro. Yo, they just, oh my God, bro. Holy shit.
film that's grossed nearly $2 billion worldwide. Some of these Hollywood actors are going to have to start learning Mandarin pretty soon because this is an absolute bloodbath. So we go from almost $2 billion to $400 million with Captain America Brave New World, who limped their way over that $400 million mark. Which
Really? Captain America? Well, I mean, obviously, like, it felt like cultural appropriation, personally. Because it's like, with what happened in Marvel, yeah, Captain America, you know, died or whatever. Did he die in like the Avengers movie? And then like just had this black Captain America take over just randomly, and y'all expect us to just be like, oh yeah, this is fine, yeah. And it's just like, no, no. Like I didn't even go see the movie, and it's not because I didn't want to support the movie and the black actor. You know what I'm saying? It's just like personally, I'm not interested in Captain America, and like. I was even less interested when they just swapped it out for a black guy. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I saw it. But personally, I just didn't go see the movie.
which we all know was something that reflects a budget that Disney is very, very cryptic about. They say it's $180 million, but most people believe the actual budget is way bigger because that was the original budget before a long run of reshoots. So this is likely a big financial disaster. Then you have Dogman here, raking in $130 million. Bridget Jones, mad about the boy. I have no idea what that is. 123.
I don't even know what Dogman's about. It low-key sounds like some One Punch Man side character shit. Because, you know, there was that dog guy superhero in that One Punch Man show. So it's like, did they randomly make a movie about him for no reason? But all this other shit, Dogman, Bridget Jones, Mickey 17 is the only thing I've seen a commercial about. The Snow White, obviously I know about that. The monkey, actually I do know about that. It's like the monkey paw or some shit. Anyway, and then Den of Thieves, I don't know shit about that. But it's like, out of all the 8 movies on here, 3 or 4 of them I know some shit about. That's about it. So, and that's me as an introvert and somebody who doesn't really go out like that. So I'm guessing other people know more about these movies, but like Snow White's way down here on number 6. This is 2025 worldwide box office. But she was only number 1 for like a week or so. He said, I think Rev said, and Snow White hit 92 million. That's it. Chill your bitch ass out. You ain't flexing on nothing.
The 4th best grossing film so far this year. And then Mickey 17, that was pretty disappointing. And then Snow White's down here. Absolutely crazy that Snow White, despite being such a disaster, is already the 6th highest grossing film of 2025. We're basically in April at this point. That should be pretty concerning. Now, of course, you can look beyond the box office numbers, right? We also have the IMDb ratings.
Ooh.
And the IMDb rating...
1.6. Way lower than... Yo, I hope Rev references Dragon Ball Evolution, which used to be the king of the lowest IMDb score. But now Snow White has just nuked that score. Snow White has the new king of worst movies with the IMDb rating.
For this is a 1.6 out of 10 on 157,000 ratings.
Damn.
Let me repeat that. 1.6 out of 10 on 156,000 ratings. If that sounds like the worst all time, that's because it is. People have absolutely repudiated this film. And as I said in my previous...
Okay, nah, it doesn't look like he's going to do it, so I'm going to do it. Let's see. IMDb Dragon Ball Evolution. So Dragon Ball Evolution is at... Also, let me look up Snow White. IMDb 2025. All right, Snow White, guys, it went down again. Out of 224,000, It has 1.5 out of 10 out of 224,000 reviews. Dragon Ball Evolution, 82,000 reviews, 2.5 out of 10. So like 224, this is actually doing much worse than I thought. 1.5 out of 224,000. Holy shit. That is sadness, bro. And I'm not sorry for them. I'm sorry for all the I'm sorry to all the people that were a part of the production and that were a part of the recording of the movie and just sitting there doing their job. You know what I'm saying? They got paid, so they're probably just fine, not in trouble. Unlike the Ubisoft workers that were just clocking in to do their job and making Assassin's Creed Shadows, even if they didn't agree with all the stuff that Assassin's Creed Shadows executives wanted to do. But so at least the Snow White people, the people who worked on Snow White, they're not as in much danger. You feel me? They did their thing as best as they could. But it's at 1.5 now. I have like 224 ratings, 224,000 ratings. That's crazy.
Previous videos about Snow White. The biggest indictment on this film is not just the controversy, it's the film itself. It's underwhelming. And the number one comment I see over and over again is that this film is boring. And that's the worst thing that can happen. Your film is just boring. There's no saving grace. People will overlook a lot of controversy, actors they don't like, as long as the film is actually good. And unfortunately for Rachel Zegler and this film, it's just not very good. It's boring. People tuned out. And speaking of that low number, that 1.6, it finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. Dragon Ball
He did it. He talked about it. I was hoping he would. Shout out to Rev Says Des. Link to his channel will be in the description below. Check out the video for yourself without my commentary if you want. That link will also be in the description below.
Evolution has been avenged, okay? They have finally found a foe that's worse than them. And
also, I like how the Dragon Ball Evolution is the Dragon Ball is Broly and Snow White is Goku getting his ass whooped. Damn, that's funny.
Snow White, and this meme, by the way, had a
honestly instead of Goku, they should have used Yamcha just like in the ground, curled up. You know that iconic meme.
2.2. It's now a 1.6. So it's even a further gap at this point.
1.5
the memes
now.
And all of the claims that Dragon Ball Evolution was the worst film ever, and they used this IMDb rating. Well, the memes have changed. Snow White has cemented itself into the history books, and just congratulations to them. They really deserve it. So let's move on to another round of controversy. A lot of people in the industry and a lot of people from inside the set are starting to reveal things to the press. We're going to begin with this. So the son of a Snow White producer named Mark Platts went off on Rachel Zegler for ruining his father's movie. And this would cause a lot of stir on social media.
Stop.
So some of the posts they're referring to here is posts like this. The latest post on social media, or at least on Twitter, from Rachel Zegler, where she talks about the film, basically is making a promotion, then also at the same time promotes her next project, which is, I would assume, very unprofessional. And then she ends it with, and always remember, free Palestine. So the activism comes through, and this was obviously very polarizing, whether you agree with the message or not. It's obviously going to be divisive to people, especially when it's made under a post talking about the Snow White trailer that also just happened to be one of the most disliked YouTube videos of all time. But of course, let's see those comments from that producer's son, where someone, it appears on Instagram, said, "Your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress." Any word on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech, no? Shame on your father.
Wait, what?
And he said this: "You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and to do publicly for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all of the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
Also, those same blue collar workers, to be honest, they probably still got paid just fine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that worked on it probably still got paid just fine, but it's just like the company lost money. And when the company loses money, they're gonna be looking at who is to blame. Like what happened in the movie. Like let's be real. They're definitely gonna blame Rachel Zegler for her comments and actions during interviews and things like that, which is why they restricted her interviews. And so much happened to kind of restrict her from doing much of anything, to be honest. And then of course they might blame like the CGI people because like the audience were also saying the CGI was trash. But let's be real. That, in my opinion, that is low key. Get out from fucking under there, you little bitch! God fucking damn it! Sorry, not sorry. But anyway, the CGI part is probably Peter Dinklage's fault because they wouldn't need to use CGI if they just used actual people with dwarfism. But Peter Dinklage was the one that spoke out against that, saying, complaining about studios using people with dwarfism to play, dwarfs in movies and shit like that. But in all honesty, people would have been just fine. People would have loved that. People would have, and then of course you have also given people with dwarfism, actors with dwarfism, a job. Instead, Peter Dinklage helped take that away from them by complaining like a little bitch about it, and then they came out with some CGI, which ended up doing trash for the movie. And then of course after that, the executives can look around like who else can we blame other than Rachel Zegler, and they might look at like the CGI people and be like, you did a terrible job doing the CGI. This is also your fault. We might punish you as well. So it's not just it's not their fault entirely. It's not their fault at all. They were just doing their job. That being said, because of Rachel Zegler's outbreaks and how she talked about the movie before it actually came out, her actions impacted other people of the company who were just working on the movie and just clocking in to do their job. And that includes, in my opinion, the people who did the CGI, because of all the bad reviews about it. They can be blamed for as a possible kind of scapegoat for why the movie did so bad, when everybody knows it's Rachel Zegler that's the main reason why the movie did bad, and the movie was just bad by itself. But if the executives don't want to place all the blame on Rachel Zegler because she's supposed to be like a star and shit like that, they can place the blame on people who did the CGI for the doors and things like that. And it's just kind of messed up. It's not fair, to be honest. Like, Rachel should hold all of the blame for this, and if not most of it, and take accountability. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she was blacklisted. But anyway, enough of my rant.
Mic drop. Okay, he definitely has a very
Thank you, Rev. That was a mic drop for me. Yeah, mic drop.
fair point here. And I don't want to make it like so dumbed down. This is all just Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler is the reason this failed. Well, no, she's a very large contributor, but it was a part, right? She was the major factor in destroying the PR and goodwill of this film. And she did it repeatedly for the course of years. And that is something that is mind-boggling. And of course, people are going to be frustrated who are working on the film because they were.
It's also just very selfish, just trying to push her own agenda, not having any worry for any of her co-stars like Gal Gadot, who felt some type of way when Rachel was always saying Palestine, free Palestine. Personally, I don't really pay attention to like politics or what's going on in things that are out of my control, so I don't really know much about it. I just stay away from it. Whatever's going on is going on, in my opinion. But I know her opinion, Rachel Zegler's opinions, weren't all agreeable with some of her co-stars, let alone her co-workers. You feel me?
They were left out to dry. They really were. And of course, people are running defense for Rachel Zegler in the replies of various posts sharing this message. And you can see this person, Gal Gadot is the reason the film is doing so bad. Gal Gadot, literally ask 10 people, 5 say Gadot, 5 people say Gadot. It is what it is at
It's like however you want to pronounce it, to be honest. It doesn't matter.
this point. But people like this, who are clearly big fans of Rachel Zegler, they're trying to blame this all on Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. Whatever. Yeah, okay. You might have a point that she contributed to some of the negative PR because she's a very loud supporter of Israel in the conflict with Palestine. And yes, of course, again, that's going to isolate people and make them not want to support this film. But let's not pretend that the level of attention and negativity that Rachel Zegler produced is anywhere near what Gal Gadot did. It's not even close. And of course, you look at the...
Honestly, I didn't even know negative attention was produced by Gal Gadot or Gadot. I didn't even know that, but it's interesting to hear.
The end product at the end of the day. So here, on the left, my left, you have
You're
Rachel
right.
Zegler.
Yeah, you're left.
saying Free Palestine.
Our
On
left.
the right, you have Gal Gadot, who served in the IDF and is
That's your left. The other one was your right.
openly supporting Israel. Congratulations, you pissed off everyone. I mean, really.
So one was supporting Palestine, one was supporting Israel, and everybody got pissed off about the movie. So it was like no wonder it did trash. Low key, some of these crash and burns that you see coming, that you actively see coming, and you're like, and you see that the public is like, hey, don't do this. It's gonna be a crash and burn. It sucks. Don't do it. And then the people that are in charge still do it. And it's just like you just sit there like, wow, they really thought that they was doing something, huh? It's funny. It's funny. But anyway,
You pissed off a very large majority of people one way or another. And that's before we're getting into issues with the film itself, with the CGI dwarfs and all of the changes to this classic film. It's a mess, okay? It's not all on Gal Gadot. That's crazy. But of course, we're getting more inside stories revolving around social media controversies involving Rachel Zegler. So Variety, who was literally doing tricks on Disney and this film for months, if not years on end, all of a sudden are changing their tune and sharing a lot of negative stories about this film, including this headline saying, "Inside Disney's Snow White fiasco, death threats, beefed up security, and a social media guru for Rachel Zegler." Down here you can say on August 12th, 2024, 3 days after Rachel Zegler hit the stage at Disney's D23 fan event to introduce the first official trailer of Snow White, she thanked supporters effusively in an X post for driving the teaser to 120 million views in 24 hours. 1 minute later, she added an afterthought in the same thread, and always remember Free Palestine. That addendum, which amassed 8.8 million views, nearly 4 times the number for the initial post, quickly made the rounds, with many inside the studio expressing shock that the Snow White star would commingle the promotion of its 270 million tentpole with any kind of political statement. A Disney executive
Facts.
raised the studio's concerns with the Zegler team, while the film's producer, Mark Platt, flew to New York to speak directly with her. But the actress, whose relationship with the studio began to unravel in 2022 during a contentious West Side Story awards season campaign, and continued as she trashed the beloved original Snow White.
so the film's producer Mark Platt flew to New York to speak directly with Rachel Zegler, but it didn't seem to help at all. Like, the first thing they should have done, yes, I know she was under contract for the movie, but they could have found a way to terminate the contract. So the first thing, like, the producers and everything should have done is just fire her immediately. Like, it may have looked bad from a political standpoint to some people, but they could have easily been like, we don't want someone who is willing to take a political who wants to take a political stance and push their political agenda as a star of one of our movies. Now it's not the time for that. This is a movie about blah, 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 blah. They could have made some type of statement to try to lessen the blow of firing Rachel Zegler. They probably would have still made just as much money, if not more, than the film actually cost them to make if they had done something like that, like in the long run. Like the movie actually might have come out decent if Rachel Zegler were fired from the start, especially after she started saying, it's a movie about a prince being a stalker and it's just weird. Like, especially after that, fire her. You don't need that shit. You don't need that shit attached to your movie. You don't. And it's time to get it right there. At that point, it was time to get rid of her. It might have saved some losses from the movie. They might have actually made more money than the movie actually cost them to make.
Stood her ground, and the post remained. Yes, and then of course, from that, there was death threats directed towards Gal Gadot because of their opposing political views, and that caused a need for extra security, which of course ballooned the budget of this even further. Again, is that a huge deal with the budget? No, but it was something that was caused by this contentious series of political activism all across the board, I guess, with this film at this point. But if you look further into some of these actions, Disney was trying, I guess. So from the New York Post, Snow White star Rachel Zegler's social media was vetted by Disney after anti-Trump post. So actually what happened here is...
And he still didn't fire her. He let that shit ride.
There was seemingly multiple rounds of Disney trying to come in and wrangle in Rachel Zegler. And these had to do with the anti-Trump posts she has made consistently for almost a decade at this point. And this is the stuff that I guess really scared Disney. But interestingly enough, they didn't make her take down any posts. They instead sent a social media guru over to see Rachel Zegler and tell her, hey, maybe this is a bad idea to be alienating the majority of the domestic population that you're...
So a social media therapist, hey, yeah, I know you're having a bad time right now. How does that make you feel, by the way? Okay, but yeah, I hear you, but maybe this is a bad time to be kind of doing this thing. Now that I said that, how does that make you feel? Because your feelings are valid. Shut your bitch ass up.
Film is greatly riding on. And, you know, it was posts like this, way back in 2020, this is some people's first introduction where she quoted this NPR tweet saying, F Donald Trump. Funny how Twitter didn't ask me to revise that one, which is interesting. Look at the time of this. June 12th, 2020. That's like 3 months into COVID, and like the way the social order was going at that time, yeah, I'm not surprised you got away with that tweet. Like, that was very acceptable at the time. But then she also has other tweets like this from 2018 saying the Trump administration is falling apart and I'm just watching while stuffing popcorn in my mouth dramatically. Yes, I love seeing your own country fall apart because it's serving your political needs. Like, what a patriot here. And then this is what really drew in the attention and likely got the social media guru, to go talk to her. Her long Instagram post where she ends it saying she hopes that Trump voters and Trump himself never know a moment of peace in their life ever again. Which again, great way to alienate a good portion of your domestic box office. And then, as people have pointed out, Gina Carano was fired. This was a Star Wars actress who made some controversial posts, but mainly the one that got her likely fired, was the main contributor, was a post where she was mocking people with pronouns in their bio.
Holy shit.
Instead of getting a social media guru, instead of getting coddled, instead of being allowed to leave up most of these posts that were related, she was shit-canned. Rachel Zegler got preferential treatment for what I would say are much, much, much more inflammatory statements. Again, you can agree or disagree with her messages about Trump. That's totally up to you. But obviously, they're inflammatory. Like, anyone looking at this objectively knows that's the truth. And the fact that Carano got such a harsher treatment for making fun of people with pronouns in their bio on Twitter versus this, it's crazy. It's unbelievable bias, and look how it paid off for Disney.
That's because Rachel Zegler was low-key attacking straight white men by saying the prince is probably going to be cut out of the movie entirely, or that his scenes might get cut out. And she was also attacking, she didn't attack like the LGBTQIA plus community, and she didn't attack like the she didn't attack like the people who are not who the people that are part of the LGBTQIA community that are not afraid to like put their pronouns in their bios and shit like that. She didn't attack them. She attacked like straight white men, which is normally right now it's okay to attack. I don't agree with it, but right now it's okay. It's okay for people to attack. And she also attacked like how she also attacked the view on true love, which right now people are also okay to attack because it's not like them saying true love is trash, blah 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 blah. And a lot of people are already trying to be on that girl boss type of bus. So that's why she got okay with it. That's why she got green flagged for it. She didn't get any flack for her outburst unlike the other girl the other person did when they attack people who are putting pronouns in their bios. That's not something that's greenlit to make fun of right now. And then, of course, she also had her political statements and things like that. I mean, Rachel did.
Congratulations. But don't worry. The Rachel Zegler stands are in full force. This person saying Disney next, Variety next, Mark Platt next, Gal Gadot next. Every tongue that rises against Rachel Zegler will fall.
Every tongue that
Here's
rises
another
against
one from a Rachel Zegler stan account
funny.
Dedicated solely to hyping her up, saying, she'll always be my Snow White. Hashtag I stand with Rachel. I told you, there are people out there who are rabid in defense of Rachel Zegler, no matter what she does. And this film and how it bombs won't change it. But anyways, that's
all right. But also the film and how it bombed won't change that it bombed. Like their opinion won't change about the film being bombed. They can just be mad about it.
Into this video, this is the latest update on Snow White's. What happens next with this film, I'm not really sure. It feels like things are bubbling behind the scenes. People are frustrated, and we might see some more stories from behind the scenes. We'll have to wait and see if that happens, though. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below.
Yo, shout out to Ref Says Des. Another banger as always. Great video. And man, it's not surprising, to be honest, that this movie failed. And also, for my conspiracy theorist part, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney also gets bought out by a part of Disney gets bought out by China. You know what I'm saying? I feel like things are getting prepped up for like a Chinese takeover in the US. You feel me? Like China's slowly gonna start buying up space in all of our properties. Like they're already buying space in like our game industries and shit. Now they're going for the movie industries. They already have TikTok. They're slowly gonna start sliding in some Chinese propaganda, and eventually China's gonna be like, all right, we're taking over the US. And it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully by then I'll probably be like in Japan chilling, maybe the Philippines. I don't know. Depends on where I feel like going. I might chill in America for a bit, but hopefully I'm out by then. By the time the Chinese takeover comes, it's not like, but it's a takeover. Like, of course I have opinions about that. But anyway, I'm out for now. As always, links to the Rev's channel and links to Rev's video will all be in the description below. So be sure to check out Rev Says Des. And while you're there, don't forget to do those 3 things that I like to ask you to do. And like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that, in case I don't see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. Much love to you.